You know what's crazy? Africa is one of the richest continents on Earth. But somehow, many people are still struggling. And the reason might shock you. It's not lack of resources. It's lack of control. And right now, in Burkina Faso, something big is happening. A young leader.
Ibrahim Traoré.
And what he's doing is making powerful countries nervous, very nervous. Imagine this for a second. You own something extremely valuable, a precious resource that the whole world wants and is willing to pay a premium for. But every time you sell it, you're forced to sell it cheap, at a fraction of its true potential. Not because it's worthless, far from it, but because you don't have the tools to refine it, to unlock its full value. That has been the economic reality for Burkina Faso for decades. In 2023 alone, the country exported over $7 billion worth of raw, unprocessed gold. $7 billion. On the surface, that sounds like success, right? But here's the part most people don't see. If that same gold had been processed inside the country, it could have made over $10 billion. That's billions of dollars of potential wealth. Lost. Every single year. It's not stolen in the traditional sense, but it is lost through a global economic system that has existed for generations. Let's put this into perspective. Ghana, a powerhouse of gold production, actually produces more raw gold than South Africa. And yet, it's South Africa that earns significantly more money from its gold exports. Why? Because South Africa processes more of its gold locally. That's the fundamental difference. It's not about how much you have, it's about what you do with it. And this is exactly the problem Ibrahim Traoré saw when he came into power. He looked at a system designed to extract wealth, not create it locally, and instead of accepting it, he decided to challenge it. In late 2023, he made a move that had never been done before in Burkina Faso's history. He launched the country's first national gold refinery. A bold move, a risky move, but also a strategic one. Think about what that really means. Instead of exporting raw gold, Burkina Faso would refine it at home. That means more value stays inside the country, more jobs, more control, more money. Enjoying this? Like, subscribe, and comment. More deep dives soon. But this isn't just about refining gold. It's much bigger than that. This is about control. Because once you control the refining, you control the pricing, you control the quality, you control the narrative, and most importantly, you control the profits. This refinery is expected to process up to 150 tons of gold every year. That's massive. But the real power isn't just in the volume. It's in what happens after refining. Because refined gold can be turned into official bars, stamped, certified, and sold at premium prices. Not discounted, not undervalued, but at full market value. And there's something else most people don't realize. Gold isn't just gold. Inside raw gold, there are other valuable metals. Silver, copper, sometimes even traces of platinum. When gold is refined abroad, those extra resources often disappear from the country's revenue. But when you refine locally, you keep everything, every gram, every dollar. It's a game changer for the national treasury. But this story isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's about something much bigger, a continental shift, a wake-up call that is echoing across Africa, from the corridors of power to the streets where the future is being debated. Because once one country demonstrates courage, once they prove it's possible to break from a century-old system, others don't just notice. They get inspired, and they start asking the same powerful question. Why are we still exporting our wealth, unfinished? And that's exactly what's happening. Countries like Mali are already moving in the same direction, building their own refineries and taking similar steps to reclaim their resources. Ghana, a historic gold powerhouse, is watching closely, already possessing some refining capacity, but now facing powerful new incentives to expand and assert more control over its own destiny. This is no longer an isolated decision made by a single government. It's becoming a movement, a strategic alignment of interests that is gaining unstoppable momentum. And when movements like this begin, they don't go unnoticed. Because if Africa stops exporting cheap raw materials and starts selling finished, high-value products instead, the entire global system changes. The established trade routes that have defined the gold market for a century begin to fracture. The flow of wealth is fundamentally and permanently redirected. Prices change. With more value being captured at the source, the floor price for raw gold could rise, impacting jewelers, investors, and central banks worldwide. Power shifts. Nations that were once just suppliers become market makers. They gain a seat at the table where prices and standards are set, a position they have long been denied. And profits move. Billions of dollars that once flowed to foreign refiners and financial centers now stay within Africa, funding development, creating jobs, and building resilient local economies. That's why this situation is so tense. Because this isn't just economics anymore. It's geopolitics. It's about influence. It's about who writes the rules of global trade. It's about control over one of the world's most critical and timeless resources. For the countries that have profited from the old system, this is a direct challenge to their economic dominance. And for the nations in Africa, it's a historic opportunity to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. The stakes could not be higher, but it's not easy. Building this takes time, takes money, takes expertise, and there are delays. Reports say progress has slowed. So the question is, will it work or fail? Nobody knows yet. But one thing is clear. Something has changed. Forever. This is not just about gold. It's about power. It's about control. It's about value and the future of Africa. So now I ask you, can this succeed? Or will pressure stop it? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is just beginning, and you don't want to miss it. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Quick one. If this helped, please like, subscribe, and share. New deep dives every week.